Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I think it's been like a month or so, but I'm back and I'm excited to be here. I promise I'm going to explain where I've been and the new setup. I'll explain all that, but for now, for those of you who are just here for books, I'm going to go over the books first. These are the books that I've read in June and July, and it's not a lot because I'll explain why I haven't been reading much, but yeah, it's not a lot, but I'll go over these first. First of all, the DNF. There was one DNF. This was sent to me by Harper Perennial, and that is Among the Bros by Max Marshall. This is a true crime nonfiction. It says, when Max Marshall arrived on the campus of the College of Charleston in 2018, he hoped to investigate a small-time fraternity Xanax trafficking ring. Instead, he found a homicide, several student deaths, and millions of dollars circulating around the Deep South. So yeah, this one, I was just freaking bored. I got a good bit of the way through it, and I was like, when are we ever going to get to the good stuff? I felt like he maybe didn't have enough for a full book, so was just putting in filler. There was so much that just was irrelevant details, just a lot of filler, things that I didn't need to know, things that meant nothing to me, and I just thought this has nothing to do with the story whatsoever. Yeah, so I ended up DNFing it because I got bored. So yeah, that was a DNF. I had one that was a 2-star. That was a buddy read that I did with Bad as Rad, and I enjoyed the buddy read, had fun with the buddy read. This one was for there was actually a readathon happening in June where everybody was reading Richard Laymon. This was both of our first Richard Laymon book, and it's called The Cellar. I'll put a picture of it here. Yeah, so the main story I enjoyed. The main story was about this creepy house, and they do tours and things in this house, and there's it's just a really scary house. That part of it I was really enjoying. The lore with this house and the backstory with this house, that all was really cool. I loved that part of the story, and I had a fun time with that plot of it. What I had a hard time with was the side plot, and involving this lady and her little girl. That part of it I had a hard time with, and they're running from her ex-husband. Richard Laymon, I don't know. I knew that there was a possibility I wouldn't like him. They say he's not for everybody. His books are a little trashy, and yeah, he's not for me. I won't pick up another one, probably ever. I really probably won't. I didn't like I didn't like the pedophile aspect of it at all. I had a hard time with that. I don't know why that was necessary. It bothered me. I didn't like it. Yeah. Donna and her little girl, Donna was an idiot. She made some of the dumbest freaking choices ever. Her little girl was I felt way smarter than she was, and made much better decisions. The ending was really wild too. The ending was crazy. The ending was insane. But one of my notes is, does Richard Laymon hate women, or does he just have mommy issues, or what? What is his problem? Because the way he writes women. Yeah, so anyhow, that's all I'll say about that. It was a 2-star. Yeah, I did not care for it. Did have a good time doing the buddy read. Like I said, I did enjoy the main thing. We had a lot of fun discussions about the book, and a lot of laughs together, and I did really enjoy the buddy read. So I enjoyed it for the chat. So that was the best part of this, was the chat. Next we'll get into my 3 stars. First one is Son of a Serial Killer by Andrew Adams. This I was sent by the author, and yeah, this guy Glenn is, he's lived his whole life not knowing who his dad is, And one night, his alcoholic mother lets it slip that his dad was this notorious serial killer. So all of a sudden, Glenn's life has changed. And yeah, and Son of a Serial Killer is the perfect title for this, because when he finds out, it sort of takes over his whole life and changes his whole identity. So all of a sudden, he isn't just Glenn. All of a sudden, he's Glenn, son of Brock Blackwood. When I say his dad was a notorious serial killer, he was very notorious. Everybody knew who he was. Word gets out that Glenn was his son, and his dad's super fans, like he had super fans, you know, rush out to support Glenn, and then other people who knew of his dad want him gone. So it's a whole thing. Like he's really having, he's really struggling. He's really having a hard time. So there are definitely scenes in here that are so ominous and gritty that it reminded me of a scratchy VHS tape, which was really cool. To have that effect in a book is pretty cool. It's pretty hard to do that. I thought it was really interesting how the past played out, how everything came together. This is one that I really couldn't put down. It's one that I had to keep reading. I had to know how it all ended. I had a couple of issues with it. One, the dialogue didn't really feel authentic. Like, I didn't feel like the characters' personalities came through with the dialogue. It felt kind of robotic. And then I feel like the plot took a really weird turn that I didn't particularly care for. So there was that. That's all I can really say without spoilers. But yeah, all in all, I did enjoy it. It was a very unique read. It was very imaginative. It was something different. I hadn't read anything else like it. And it was wild. it was different. And it also is one that grabbed my attention from page one. So it was unputdownable. So yeah, it was fascinating. Definitely different. Then I read She's Always Hungry by Eliza Clark. This one was sent to me also by Harper Perennial. And this one was another 3-star. It's a short story collection. All the stories are themed around hunger, which is interesting. And honestly, this is one that is kind of hit and miss. Some stories I was very into, and other ones, like, I wasn't into it all to the point I skipped them. So it's like, meh. I really enjoyed her like novel Boy Parts. So I know I want to give this one a try. I do prefer her full-length novel, definitely, over short stories, but this was still fun. My favorite of this one is called The Shadow Over Little Chittily, and it is about an Italian Chinese restaurant, and that one is told in a very unique way that actually worked as a short story. I don't think it would have worked as a full-length novel the way it was told. It was very weird, not scary, just bizarre, and I really loved that one. It made me laugh out loud. It was just different. But yeah, this one blended several different genres, had that dark humor that Eliza Clark is known for. There were a couple of stories in here that I would have loved to see turn into full-length novels. But that's how I am with short stories. I have a hard time with short stories because I'll get really into it and then it's over. But yeah, some of these I really did enjoy. As you know, with short story collections, that's how it is. It's always hit or miss. Some really work, some just don't. But yeah, it ended up being 3 stars. The next one's gonna really surprise you. It's another 3-star, and it's a comedy romance. Who knew? This is one. I was looking for a specific vibe and a specific like recommendation, and I found this one on a Facebook thread. This one is called Ella Gets the D by Tanvier Peart. I think that's how you say that. I'm probably messing it up. So this is about this lady Ella. She comes home one day and she finds her husband cheating on her, and she's like, I want a divorce, right? Which, good for her. She shouldn't be putting up with that crap, right? So she's been a stay-at-home mom for years, and he's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of power. And in the separation, he tells her, the only way the only way I'm going to honor the divorce or whatever is if you get your own place and a job within this short amount of time. And it's not much time at all, right? So yeah, he kind of doesn't think she can do it. Well, her friend Morgan, and it cannot be, because right now she's living in her friend Morgan's house. And it cannot be in her friend Morgan's house. It has to be her own place. So he doesn't think she can do it. Well, her friend Morgan says, well, I have this townhouse that you can live in rent-free for, I think it's like 8 months. That'll give you time to save up money and to get your own, another place or whatever. She's like, well, that would be considered my own place in the townhouse, actually. It wouldn't be in your house. So, yeah, so she's staying in the townhouse. Well, with her separation celebration with her girlfriends, she has a lot of drinks. She has a few drinks. And at the end of the night, she's having a dream that she's making out with this guy. And she kind of wakes up or whatever, and she realizes that's not a dream. There's a man in her bed. Well, the man is her friend Morgan's brother, who has come home early from London. Morgan failed to mention that the townhouse belongs to her brother, her little brother. And she also failed to let her little brother know that her friend would be staying in the townhouse. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. Well, little brother is hot, and he's DC's most eligible bachelor, and he's very successful, and you see where this is going, right? Well, Ella's trying to be good. She's trying to honor everything that's in her separation. She's trying to do everything right. So anyhow, I won't say anything else about it, but it's steamy and it's funny. It's just a light read. What I loved about it is, you have kind of found family, you have friendship, especially female friendship. I love that you have that reminder that it takes a village. You don't have to do it all by yourself. She has this support system. She has her friends, and she's not having to do everything on her own. And she's a go-getter. She's fierce. She goes out and she's gonna find a job. She's gonna do everything it takes to take care of her kids and to take care of herself. And it was nice. It was a good fun read. I ended up giving it 3 stars. One thing that drove me bonkers, that line, like that notorious line in books that, like, she released a breath she didn't know she was holding, or whatever that line is, you know what I'm saying? But there's different variations of that line that, like, everybody laughs about. Oh my gosh, there were so many breaths released in this book. Different variations. But anyways, it was still fun. I enjoyed it. It was just a cute, fun read. So that was a good time. Something different. And then I read literary fiction. This was a 4-star, Open Throat by Henry Hoke. This is from the point of view of a mountain lion. This mountain lion has been living under the Hollywood sign, and you're getting the point of view of a mountain lion because the mountain lion, has been observing human behaviors while also dealing with their own gender identity. And they also have been kind of living in a homeless encampment. One day a fire engulfs the encampment, and it forces the mountain lion to go down into town, into the city of LA. And yeah, from there, this mountain lion comes across other people and other situations. And that's all I'll really say. It was not what I expected based on the synopsis at all, but I still enjoyed it. It was different, wildly different. It tackles some important topics, but it's kind of light. It tackles them, but it's kind of a light way of tackling them because you have the point of view of the mountain lion. But it tackles the housing crisis, it tackles homelessness, class, the violence humans are capable of, also homelessness and how people view the homeless, things like that. But yeah, this was just very unique and very clever, and just is something different. It's it's kind of like a stream of consciousness of this mountain lion going through sort of an existential crisis, I would say. It's so hard for me to put into words how I felt about this book. I don't even know how I feel about this book, aside from just, it was weird. It was different. I enjoyed it. Sorry if the view changed. I had to go get my charger. Then I read this. This is another 4-star. Then I read In Beta by Prescott Harvey. This one was sent to me by Inkshares and Bobby Media. So, oh, sorry. This chair hurts. So, this one, I actually ended up really enjoying this one more than I expected. It's kind of a YA sci-fi situation, and which are two genres that I don't read a lot of. And sci-fi is one of those that typically, sometimes I have a hard time really getting into, but I actually enjoyed this one a lot. So these two kids, Jay and Colin, they're in high school. Setting in this is 1993. They come across this video game called The Build, and it's sort of like The Sims. But when they get into this video game, they see that it's an exact replica of their town. Then they find out when they make a change in the video game, it actually makes changes to their town in real life. So imagine the power, imagine what they can do with that. And it says, with godlike power, they react as any teenagers would, hacking high school to make it more awesome. But someone or something is watching, and as their friends and neighbors begin acting increasingly strange, they buckle in for an epic battle. Jay and Colin must pull out all their cheat codes to save themselves, their town, and the very fabric of existence. Yeah, this was so fun. Kind of felt like an adventure to me. It really did. The 90s nostalgia definitely took me back to my nerdy high school self. There were plenty of video game, movies, music, and pop culture references. Love that. The world building was excellent. The scene setting, some of the scenes had me on the edge of my seat. The pacing was really good. Also, there were plenty of twists. It wasn't expected at all. It definitely surprised me. I absolutely love the friend group and how it all came together. Not just Colin and Jay, but there were some other friends too. It's been a while since I've been in high school, and even still, I remember the pain. I remember the awkwardness and trying to fit in, and you know, the different social circles and all that. I could still relate to this book. I could still feel it. You know what I mean? There were a couple of cheesy moments in here, but I didn't mind. You know, it's YA, and I didn't mind that. I will say I would have loved to see them do more with the game's capabilities. You know, these were teenagers with all this power at their fingertips, and I'm really surprised they didn't do more with that. All that being said, I had a blast reading this. I flew through it. I would definitely pick up another book by this author, and I didn't know how much I would enjoy a sci-fi book. It was just a fast-paced, plot-twisty adventure, and I had a great time with it. Next is, my final one is a 5-star, and that is Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. This one has been on my shelf for a while, and I'm really sorry it took me this long to read it, because I loved this. Yeah, this one tackles some really big topics, but it does so in sort of a more light and comedic way, and it takes talent to do that. It really does. But yeah, this one tackles AI, it tackles algorithms, art as therapy, art as expression, it tackles Hollywood greed, and you know, queer identity, and like queer erasure. You know, it tackles some really big things, and it manages to do that, but it manages to still keep it kind of light. Yes, this is kind of a scary book, keeps you on your toes and all that, but it still kind of has that comedic tone to it somehow. It's wild to say that, but it was fun. I had fun reading this. And also the body horror in this was excellent. It was so good. And that also is probably weird to say, but the body horror in this was really good. I thought this was brilliant. The way it all came together was really good. And the ending took it from a 4 to a 5 star for me. I love the ending. Oh, so freaking good. The ending was excellent. Yeah, I won't say anything else about it. Just, you need to read it. Yeah, if you love queer horror, you absolutely have to read this book. It's very well done. For anybody here that's just here for the books, those are all of them. Yeah, so 2 months of reading, that's really not a lot. I'll get to now where I've been the last couple months, why I haven't been reading a lot, why I had to take a little break. Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out how far into this I should get, how, whatever, because I don't know who may be listening. And yeah, so mostly I'm not really worried who may be listening. Mostly only a couple people. Yeah, but anyways, so I've had a few big life changes recently, and they came kind of out of the blue. And if you can read between the lines, yeah, so out of the blue, out of nowhere, unexpectedly, didn't think we'd ever get here, didn't think we'd ever be here, but here we are. And I have a lot to navigate, I have a lot to figure out. That's all I'm gonna say here. I'm being called to, I'm gonna start a second channel, actually. Not book related, but for some reason I keep being called to start another channel recently, because when life gives you lemons, may as well make some lemon drop shots or whatever. However it goes. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe it could be relatable to other people going through something similar or have gone through something similar, and I thought maybe I could make it sort of like comedic and fun maybe, but also, like I said, just relatable, because I'm somebody that has social anxiety, and like I said, I never thought I'd be here again. And yeah, promises were made and they weren't kept, and yeah, never thought I'd be here. So other channel, just to give you an idea of what's going to be on the other channel before I move on and explain the rest of my situation, kind of how I found myself here, what happened exactly, starting over at 39, having social anxiety and taking myself on solo dates, kind of becoming my own best friend, finding myself again. So I thought it would kind of be fun to just get out of my comfort zone and go to just various different places on solo dates, and just reporting on how that went, or maybe taking the camera along with me. I thought that would be fun, and also probably funny and terrifying, but also it's going to force me out of my comfort zone, which is something I really need because I don't get out of my house, and I've got to make myself get out of the house. So I thought that would kind of force me to do that, just like booktube has forced me out of my comfort zone. That's going to even force me further out of my comfort zone, because I have got to get out of this house. I have to. And also, there are a lot of things that I'm having to learn how to do on my own, and I'm gonna have to learn how to do it on my own around the house. So I thought that would be really funny to film and to show, and maybe how-tos when I figure it out, and let's figure it out together kind of thing. And also decorating rooms on hey, I only have $50. What can we do with this room? because my house is pretty empty mostly. It doesn't look like it right now because this is just books, and also like seasonal content that's not book related, but seasonal content and just different adventures, and I just think it would be fun. So, but also the starting over thing and the social anxiety and like, let's get out of the house and step out of my comfort zone kind of thing. So if those are things that you could relate to, that you would want to be a part of, that you would want to follow along on my journey, let me know. I'm not going to announce the channel here. I'm not going to say, hey, this is my new channel, because there's certain people, like if they find it, if they happen across it, that is fine. It is not going to have my name on it, my current name. Remember I told you I was going to be changing my name? It's going to have my new name on it. So yeah, if that's something you want to be a part of, let me know, and I will send you a link. Whenever I have the channel up and running, I'll send you a link to it. Like if you have a channel here, I can see your email on your channel, or I could find you on Instagram or something or whatever, and I'll send you a link to the channel when I get it up and running, something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. If you're somebody that's been following along for a while and I know you, trust you, whatever, I'll send you a link to it. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I'm not gonna ever announce it here and be like, hey, this is my new channel. Like I said, if people happen to find it, they happen to find it. That is fine. I'm not scared of it, but I'm not gonna announce it either on my personal stuff, if that makes sense. But anyhow, so I'm not gonna be afraid to share my story, because it's my story, and I'm not gonna be afraid of it. I'm gonna just share it. But anyways, if you're interested, let me know. Now, to move along and let you know kind of what else is going on top of all this, I also still dealing with medical things. I don't ever talk about on here because you're here for books, and I don't want to bore you with all that. And I don't want to drag everybody down, and I try not to be negative. I try to be positive. I try to be fun and light and all that. But because we're here for an update, I'm going to update you. I've had 3 procedures, and so far, and I mean, they were minor, but so I have spondylosis, like my lower, I'm trying to explain it to you kind of how it explained to me, but I don't fully understand. Like the lower vertebrae is like melting into the larger bone at the base of my spine. Melting. I don't know if that's a medical term, but that's how the doctor said. He said melting. It's degenerative, so it's going to keep getting worse. And so they can't fix it. They can basically just put a Band-Aid on it and just help me with pain relief. That's what they can do for me. So insurance doesn't allow them to just burn the nerves in my spine to help me with pain relief. They require 2 other procedures first, to like these like nerve block things, to where it basically to make sure they're in the right spot first. So you go in first for a nerve block, and like if the pain goes away for hours or a couple days or whatever, then they know they're in the right spot. So we have to do that twice, 2 different times. You have to be put under all that stuff. It's a whole thing. You know that costs money. So it's costing me money 3 times. 2 of those, and then finally the 3rd time they finally burned the nerves off in my back, my lower back. And it's supposed to help with pain relief for 6 to 12 months. So it's temporary. It's a temporary Band-Aid, is all it is. Because they can't fix it. They can only help me with pain relief. They can only try to keep me comfortable. Okay? So we did that. And it was sore. Like, it was the week after my birthday was July 9th. It was the week after my birthday. We did that. And it was sore for like a week. And it's fine. I think it's helped. I really do. I feel like my back is better. I don't hurt every day like I was. I feel like it's better. It did not fix my tailbone, because my tailbone also hurts. It's a new thing within the past 3 or 4 months. My tailbone has been hurting. Like, it hurts to sit, and it hurts to lay down, and it hurts to move certain ways. Didn't fall or anything, but they said that's normal for someone with benign hypermobility, which is something else I have. I have benign hypermobility, osteoarthritis, and then I have spondylosis. So with benign hypermobility, sometimes it happens with the tailbone. I don't fully understand. Something about, I don't know, inflammation or something. I don't freaking know. But they said it's very hard to treat tailbone pain. It's very hard to treat it because pain pills don't help, muscle relaxers don't help. It's in a very bad spot. I think it's something about nerves or something. I don't freaking know. I don't know. Just know I'm very uncomfortable. I can't get comfortable. I have an articulating bed frame. It doesn't help. It hurts to sit on a couch. It hurts to sit on a cushion. It hurts to sit. Very uncomfortable. I can't get comfortable anywhere. So since it's so hard to treat, that's why they sent me to the pain management doctor. Pain management doctor started with my back because once he saw the x-ray and saw how effed up my back was, he started with my back and not my tailbone. My back's been hurting for years. I'm pretty much used to my back being freaking miserable. My tailbone's new. I'm just like, dude, it hurts to sit. Like, can we fix my tailbone? So we fixed my back first, aka basically put a band-aid on it. Next, we're gonna do something with my tailbone. I don't know what he could possibly do for it. We've started to do anti-inflammatory, which is wild to me. We took until now years to do any kind of anti-inflammatory with all my issues, but I'm not a doctor. So we started anti-inflammatory twice a day. I don't know if that's supposed to help or not. So far it has not. We'll see. But next, I go in August back to the pain management doctor. And then I think we're supposed to do something with the tailbone. I don't know what they could possibly do. We'll see. So at least my back is better. But all that to say, I hurt all the time. I pain constantly. I'm always hurting but non-mobility, it affects all my joints. A lot of people that are hypermobile, they don't have any problems. They can go through life and have no problems. Well, I am one of those people, like, it causes me problems. A lot of problems, like headaches, and I have balance issues, and I have joint pain, and all that. So anyhow, because of all the procedures and all the things, like bills were stacking up, the economy sucks, and all that, and I had to sell my bookshelves. I had no choice. Because to keep a roof over my head and to keep bills and all that stuff, the only thing in the house that I could think of that was just mine was the bookshelves. So yeah, to survive, that's what I had to do. And it was a real bummer. I literally cried over it because, I've worked very hard to create a brand and to create, what I have going on. And nothing's the same now. Nothing. Like, I felt like I lost everything because I'd already lost a lot, and then I lost the bookshelves. And honestly, I almost quit YouTube altogether. I almost quit Instagram because I'm like, what do I have left? Nobody's gonna watch now. Nobody's gonna want to see anything because, like, that was my whole. I've just lost everything. I can't make things look the same without my bookshelves. But people were really sweet, and even the people that didn't know I lost my bookshelves, like, people reaching out, like, hey, are you okay? I haven't posted in a while, like, is everything okay? And it's really sweet. And then I realized, like, hey, I've created like a little community. I've created like a little support system even on Instagram and on YouTube, and people were really sweet to reach out, even people that had no idea what was going on, and that was really sweet. So and mostly I haven't told anybody I actually haven't told really anybody what was going on, hardly. So I decided to push forward and film and do Instagram, even though I don't have bookshelves, even though things don't look right, even though I feel like my identity right now, even though things don't look the way you're used to seeing them and the way I'm used to seeing them, and even though I don't have the things that I worked really hard for, I'm gonna push forward. So I'm gonna make the most of it. And hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully people will still show up for me, even though it doesn't look right right now. And we can just work with that. And hopefully I can get them back eventually. Not those specific ones, but some bookshelves, hopefully I can get back. I am having to navigate trying to get more work coming in. More money coming in, because with that big life change, I'm having to find more income, because that was quite a big change, and I have a lot of bills that it's going to be hard for me to take care of. But I'll figure it out. I put social media services out there, like maybe social media management or whatever, because I've proven that I could manage social media, because I've managed my own Instagram for a couple years now. So anyways, I put that out there, and I've been applying for more work, and if I have to get 2 jobs or whatever I need to do, then that's what I will do. But I do have 2 kids, and they do have, you know, I do have to take care of them. So, but anyways, I will figure it out. However I need to do to get my bookshelves back, I will eventually get them back. I just have to keep reminding myself this stage is temporary. Where I'm at right now is temporary. So eventually it'll come together, right? So, but yeah, I just have to keep reminding myself that this is temporary. Where I'm at right now is temporary, most of it. Some of it's kind of permanent, but you know, the bookshelves is temporary, and everything's gonna work out. Things have a way of working themselves out, and I'll eventually get more bookshelves. Eventually things will go back to looking the way I'm used to, maybe even better. You know, maybe. But for those of you who are still here, keep coming back, keep commenting and watching my videos, I truly appreciate it. If this is your first video on my channel, just know that this is not my normal, and this is a weird, you're seeing me at a weird time. So maybe watch some older videos, and just know that going forward the videos they're gonna be better. This is not my normal content. You're seeing me at a really weird time, so just apologize for that. What else? Oh, tags. I know people have tagged me in videos. I am gonna get to those. Sorry, I'm a little behind. I love tags. I like doing them. I have a lot of fun with them, and I'm gonna get to them. If you've tagged me and I haven't commented, I've noticed that sometimes I'm not being notified of them. So if I haven't commented, I'm not ignoring you. It's possible that I haven't seen it. So I'm really sorry if I've missed any of them. But yeah, I will get to them. I think that's it. I think that's all the for the update, I believe. Like I said, let me know if you want to know about the new channel. I have an email. If you don't want to comment, my email is listed in the description. You can always email me and just let me know. And then I'll put you on the list. I'll email you or whatever. I'll email you back and let you know whenever the new channel's up, and I'll send you a link to it. That's a good way too. If you don't want to comment, you can just email me. Not a big deal. Or find me on Instagram. My link to my Instagram is here. And my email and all that stuff. All that stuff is in the description. So you can always find me on any of those and just let me know, hey, I want to know about your new channel. And I'll send you a link when it comes up. So lots of different ways if you don't want to comment. You can always do one of those things. If you comment and you have a channel, then like I said, I can always find your email or find your Instagram or whatever and let you know one of those ways when it comes up. So we'll figure it out one way or another. But yeah, so I think that's it. I don't know what my video is going to be next week because I haven't fully worked it out yet. Things are a little bit of a mess. So either way, I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.